You are not far from God. You were never far from God. There is no distance to cross, no mountain to climb, no years of worship that will physically move you closer to a presence that is already nearer to you than your own jugular vein. So if nothing separates you in space, what is actually keeping you apart? The Sufi tradition has an answer, and it's not what most people expect. It's not sin, it's not distance, it's veils, hijab. And according to Ibn Arabi and the masters who came before him, there are exactly 3 of them, layered one inside the other, and almost no one removes all 3 in a lifetime. Today, I'll show you what they are, how each one disguises itself as something good, and how to tell which one is currently standing between you and what you're searching for. Start with the word hijab itself. In the Quran, it doesn't mean cloth, it means barrier, partition, that which conceals. Allah says of the disbelievers that there is a hijab between them and what they desire, not a physical wall, a perceptual one. The Sufi scholars borrowed this term precisely because it implies something specific. A veil doesn't destroy what's behind it. It only prevents you from seeing it. God isn't absent behind the veils. You are blind in front of them. The first veil is the most obvious and the easiest to name, which is exactly why it's the easiest to underestimate. This is hijab al-khalq, the veil of creation itself. It's the pull of the material world, wealth, status, comfort, the body's appetites, the endless argument that more will finally satisfy you. Here's what makes this veil dangerous. It doesn't ask you to deny God, it just asks you to stay busy. Al-Ghazali wrote that this veil rarely operates through outright disbelief. It operates through distraction so total that the question of God simply never gets asked. You can pray 5 times a day and still be entirely governed by this veil if every other waking hour is consumed by acquisition, comparison, and appetite. The test for this veil is simple. When something is taken from you, money, comfort, a relationship, does your connection to God increase or does your peace collapse? If loss devastates you in a way that has nothing left over for gratitude, the world was the veil, not the lesson. The second veil is harder to see because it hides behind apparent progress. This is hijab al-nafs, the veil of the ego, and Sufi scholars considered it more dangerous than the first because it disguises itself as spirituality. This is the veil of the person who has left worldly distraction behind but has replaced it with pride in their own discipline. They fast more than others and quietly know it. They pray longer and feel superior in the knowing. Ibn Ata'illah in the Hikam names this exactly. He warns that some of your worst sins can produce humility, and some of your best deeds can produce pride. And the deed that produces pride does you more damage than the sin that produces humility. This is the veil of spiritual achievement becoming a mirror you admire yourself in instead of a window you see through. The self has simply relocated from worldly accomplishment to religious accomplishment. But it's still the self at the center, still measuring, still comparing, still asking, "How am I doing?" instead of forgetting the question entirely. The test here is subtler. Notice your reaction when someone less observant than you succeeds, or someone more observant than you stumbles. Contempt in either direction is the Nafs veil announcing itself. The third veil is the one almost nobody talks about because it sounds impossible. How can light itself be a barrier? This is hijab al-nur, and it appears only after the first 2 veils have genuinely been removed. At this stage, the person has transcended worldly attachment and ego. They begin to experience real spiritual states, overwhelming peace, certainty, moments that feel unmistakably divine. And here is the trap Ibn Arabi identified. The seeker can become attached to the experience of nearness itself, mistaking the gift for the giver. This is the person who chases spiritual highs, who measures their relationship with God by the intensity of their emotional states, who feels abandoned the moment the dryness returns, not realizing that dryness can be as intentional a gift as ecstasy. The veil of light is loving what God gives you more than loving God. It's the most forgivable veil and, paradoxically, the hardest to detect, because everything about it looks like devotion. Here's what most explanations of this get wrong. These aren't 3 steps you complete in order and move past forever. Ibn Arabi was explicit that a person can have substantially thinned the first veil while still being thick with the second, or can experience moments of piercing the third veil entirely, and then fall straight back through all 3 within the same week. The veils aren't a ladder. They're closer to layers of fog that thin and thicken depending on your state, your company, your intentions in any given moment. The goal was never to permanently graduate. It was to recognize in real time which veil is currently active, and that recognition itself is most of the work. So which one is active for you right now? Is your attention captured by acquisition and comparison, the first veil? Is your spiritual effort quietly performing for an audience, even an audience of one, yourself? That's the second? Or have you mistaken the comfort of feeling close to God for actually being close to Him? The third. Comment below. Which veil do you think is thickest in your life right now?